Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, let's see if anybody's coming. Okay, so basically how we're going to end up starting this, because I'm going to post this video anyways, so I should move this chair a bit. I'm going to post this video anyway, so whether or not people are there, I got a bunch of people that have asked me a bunch of random questions, so we're going to go through that. We are also going to use a random number generator, which I have on my phone. Okay, so random number generator. You can't see that, but it's 1 to 6. Again, that is for the AUG, the C3 Plus. So we're going to end up doing that, but we're going to do that closer to the end of the stream. So move this out of the way. We will do that after. Let's just set this up. Sorry for the delay. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, so there was a couple questions actually regarding the some of the units and stuff that we had. So a lot of questions about storing a motorcycle, which is pretty cool because, I mean, that's a season. I do have videos on that, but it's not specific to that, right? So what I'm going to end up doing is I'll put that stuff in the description to show you what you need to do. The question that I am actually going to cover here was a good one personally. I use a Thunderbox, so it is basically a power unit that uses the ignition power supply to cover all of your accessories. But there is a trick, because a lot of people don't know that if you store the bike with a tender, it will actually turn the accessories on, because it sees that like when it's charging it's 14 volts, so it thinks the vehicle is actually started. So you're really not storing it then at that point. You're constantly using the actual power, right? So you're going to cycle that battery a lot. You're going to probably damage that battery. One thing that we're going to end up telling you is there's 3 different modes on that. I'm probably going to end up doing a video if anybody didn't see this, but that's okay. Right now I'm going to kind of give you the Coles notes on it. There is 3 modes. It has to do with the white wire. So you're going to have your power and your ground from the unit. That is going to be basically the power and ground to the controller. There's a white wire that can either be run to the ignition wire, so when the bike turns on it's going to be a manual control. Secondly, you can do that just leaving it alone, don't touch it. That would be fine if you do not have it on a tender, because that's the automatic mode. If you run it on the automatic mode and it's charging, it is never going to stop. So that's that. The other one is you can do a manual shutoff mode, which is the white wire to the ground in the terminal, so the black wire, and it kind of just acts like a loop basically. That will be a way to stop you from doing that. Now that is personally my favorite. I run it on a switch. So basically it's automatic because I have it opened. It's like it's not connected to the black until I flick that switch and close that circuit, and then it is a manual shut off, right? So it works both ways. I'm going to do a video on that just because you kind of need a little bit more in depth on that, but that's okay. We'll show you that, whatever. But that was actually a question that I got. It was pretty good, and I honestly never thought to do a video on it. So to the subscriber that actually posted that, thank you for that, because that's actually a really good question. A lot of the questions that I got this time is about the channel specifically, or me, which was kind of interesting. Because normally I get like, what do you like in the Rebel? What do you do on this type of stuff? There's a couple questions on that, but we're going to go through. I'm not sure if I'm going to get all of these done today because there's quite a few. If I don't get to all of it, I'll just add that to the next one. And then we'll do it in a couple months. It's not a big deal. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the first part, right? So I did not actually post the names. I should actually start doing that. That way you can actually know who's texting or who's messaging me on this, unless they don't want to be seen or heard from. Stay anonymous. We're just gonna start with this. Okay, so what inspired me to start YouTube, or my YouTube channel? I did explain this beforehand on a one video, but it was kind of like in the one of the like end of season rides. I started YouTube for a hobby essentially, but I watched a couple videos, interested to see what do you see in, like, when you search for, say, a battery replacement on the Rebel. I watched a video and it shocked me, actually. No pun intended. They decided that they wanted, on the 500, there is a circuitry on the side that you basically have to move out of the way. Well, he basically had it grounding you, sparking the area, because he wasn't doing this properly, and he was probably going to cause like an electrical fire or hurt somebody with that. And I went, you know what, I kind of know how to do this type of stuff, so why not just try to kind of push a couple things out to people? And I mean, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it is what it is. It's more of a hobby to me. So I mean, that's kind of how I view it. And I mean, the community is fantastic. So they help you out either way. I help, they help me. It's just the reality of it. It's really cool. I do like this community. Weird question, but it was interesting. What does the name Slight mean or represent? See, it has nothing to do with motorcycles. So it is a nickname that I got way back when. I'm going to age myself, but or date myself. It was because I used to play a lot of video games and stuff, and that was my username. And it was a joke with a bunch of my friends. We used to play competitive SOCOM, and my name was Slight because it was actually given to me by my buddies. I was one of the snipers, and the joke behind it was, if I caught you in my scope, you had a slight chance of surviving. It was a joke. It's silly, but the name stuck. So I mean, it's part of it, where it is. And then the reason why I did Moto instead of just Slight was there was a plan originally to do Moto and then Auto. It's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm sticking with the Moto for now. If I do go Auto as well, then that will be a different channel altogether, but we'll go from there. Let's check. Okay, so the next question was actually a pretty good one. I've actually been asked this a few times. Who are your biggest influences or creators you look up to? Now, really look up to a lot of people, but I respect other channels and other like visions. Um, when I started watching YouTube on motorcycle content and stuff like that, um, I like the guys like Blockhead. I really liked him. He was more of when he first started out, um, more like just in his own garage type thing and kind of trying to learn how to do it, which was kind of neat. I liked that. There was a lot of raw kind of like work through. It was really nice. Um, I mean, even to the point that I remember him drilling a hole in his finger, right? It was a fun kind of reaction. It's crappy, but, and I still watch him today, actually. He actually lost one of his fingers, or a part of his finger. Great channel guy, really knowledgeable, has his own shop, well, now he doesn't, but he did have his shop, and uh, good guy. I do look up to that guy. He's actually a pretty unique individual, and I really like his format and kind of how it is. And I mean, that's one guy. Shade Tree Surgeon, again, one of the OGs. I like his rawness. He does a lot of humor and just kind of the way he is. He's actually a pretty interesting guy. But I do like his channel. It's actually pretty interesting. Do It With Dan. Do It With Dan is well, when he was doing more motorcycle content, his Magna build was fantastic. I absolutely love that. And I mean that. Um, Another content guy that I like was Dan the Fireman. I remember when I think his girlfriend at the time, had a Rebel 300, and I was actually looking at potentially getting something at that point. And yeah, I was looking at him, and I love the fact that he's stuck on like safety, security, kind of um, what to do. He has like a whole like tier kind of thing. If you haven't heard about him, check him out. He's actually a really good content creator, and he does a lot of safety stuff like collisions and how to fix that and how to stop that and kind of skill sets like that. Um, Kind of the opposite side to that is Moto Jitsu. I do like his channel as well. Um, he is very educational, and I do all of his. Actually, I have his book and stuff like that, and I absolutely love it. I have the app as well, and that is a lot of the parking lot stuff that I do. I absolutely love that, and I think that's actually a skill that more people need to do. But I mean, it is what it is. Of course, guys like Life of Birch, that's a no-brainer. I remember his video on the 300 Rebel, the white one, and the whole filmed in Mexico thing. It was funny. It stuck with me, and I've actually had the honor of meeting him, and he's actually a really good guy. Other guys, Navi Mac Life. I've talked to him online. Never actually met him in real life, but really good guy. Ride of a Lifetime, obviously, Jeremiah. I mean, he's a really good dude, great content creator. And then, of course, on the Rebel 1100, or 11, sorry, and that's Gus. And again, another great content creator. So I do look up to individuals on how they do things, and I like the differences and stuff for that. So I do look at their content, and I look up to them in specifics, right? So that's that. Oh, we're gonna go through a couple more of these, and I'm probably gonna switch gears. But what motivates you to keep creating content? That's actually a pretty interesting question. I should probably write down answers on these, or a little bit better. I've got notes, but I just enjoy the process. I think it's interesting. It's a skill set that I kind of like. I'm learning how to do this. Um, it's new to me. I've never edited anything before this. I've never done any videoing or any of that type of stuff. So this is all kind of new. And I mean, I'm learning how to do these streams. So I did it last season, but I had a lot of help. But That, and then number one thing I think I do like about the whole YouTube is the community. The community is actually second to none. I do like how, and not just the YouTubers, the guys that are like in the threads and the forums and stuff like that. Um, I like how everyone is willing to help out and nobody judges. People just help, right? I like that. I like that, especially in the rebel community. Other communities are not so forgiving, but I mean, it is what it is. Let's keep going. Uh, what is the biggest lessons you've learned from doing YouTube? I mean, there's a lot of kind of weird, kind of interesting questions, I guess, but um, I guess the biggest lesson I've learned, um, I think the biggest thing that I've noticed is everyone seems to think it takes no time at all to do videos. You, if you've never done it, you really don't know. And I'm not complaining. I think it's actually a pretty interesting thing, but you got to be patient with it, right? So I have a couple notes on here, but like editing is just, it just takes so much time, and the worst part of it is the more you edit a video, the less, I mean, I guess the crappier the video goes essentially. So like I've spent hours and hours and hours on videos and editing and stuff like that just to find that you get very little viewership. And it's because it's kind of a little off your brand, I guess, and YouTube kind of sucks that way. So like I enjoy doing specific type of videos like event coverages and charity and that type of stuff. But they don't tend to they don't get to reach the audience like you would normally get. Um, and something to do with the algorithm or something like that. But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, you do spend more time on that, and then you look at it and go, ugh, right? But I mean, it is what it is. Um, where do you want your channel to be in a year or 5 years? Well, I've been doing this for a couple years, so I don't know whether or not they're asking from now on, or like, but let's pretend that that's what they're saying. I'm not sure. I should have actually asked. But uh, I I mean, I would love to just keep growing the community, helping out people, getting the channel to grow a little bit more. Eventually, I would like to do more giveaways, a little bit more in the community building aspects of it. I don't know if I'll ever get to the point of building bikes. That would be fun. And then like actually giving them away. But I mean, you got to get up there to like content and stuff to be able to make it worth your while. Again, everybody seems to think you can make a lot of money on YouTube. You don't. But I mean, if you're doing it to make money, it's really not the reason to do this, right? Especially on like this type of thing, right? You need to like it to do it, right? Don't pretend you're going to be making millions. You're not. You make gas money. But yeah. All right. Let's continue on. How long have I done this so far? I don't know. Sorry, bear with me. Yes, Fran, you are late. That's okay. All right. Okay. You know what? We're gonna skip that whole thing, and we're gonna go to the next one. Okay, so what's the hardest part about being a YouTuber? It's kind of weird to class yourself as a YouTuber because I'm very, very tiny, very small. And that's not a height joke, Fran. Um, but I think the biggest part of it would be time, lack of time. I'm extremely busy. I have a full-time job. Again, I'm not complaining. But I have a family. Um, I have a lot of responsibilities, and trying to find the time to be able to get this done. Uh, I I typically have videos out, or at least videoed. Like I have videos recorded, not edited, but recorded up until I think May. So like I do a lot of videoing and stuff beforehand, just in case I can, make a bunch of videos and have them setting aside, kind of thing. And that's typically how I have it. Not everybody's like that, but it just makes it so then over the winter time, like I can't record things right now. But I have a ton of photos or videos to edit for content over the winter, which is something a lot of us don't do, right? So that's a fun part, I guess. But yeah, all life, yeah, my time's limit, yeah. Okay, so the next thing, let's see if there's anything else. Okay, all right. Have you ever wanted to quit, and what kept you going? So I haven't told many people this, but yeah, I almost actually I almost put the hat up this past year. A lot of stresses, a lot of issues. Wasn't happy with the way the channel was growing. Wasn't happy with a bunch of things, and I was almost to the point that it's like, am I wasting my time or wasting other people's time? Now, I don't believe that was accurate. I think I was more just kind of frustrated with the bunch of stuff that I had going on. And I mean, family will always outperform this type of stuff, right? Like I will always put my family ahead of this. But I mean, life goes on, right? Like that's part of how it is, right? So I was able to get past a bunch of the stuff that I ended up having in my way. But yeah, now everything's working and we're getting there. So hopefully next year will be better. This year kind of sucked, but I mean it is what it is. That's part of life, right? What do you think people misunderstand about me? What are these questions? Okay. I don't typically post videos of my personality in the videos because they're do-it-yourself videos, right? So I am, how do I say this nicely? I am a lot to take if people take me wrong. I enjoy screwing around with people. I like having fun with people. And people today are a lot more sensitive than I'm kind of okay with, I guess. So like I'm in a shop environment, so we always screw around with each other. So there is a lot of people that would probably take offense to some of my jokes and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just shop environment. Like there's no malice to it, right? But yeah, I think another thing is motivations. I have been told, or I've been private messaged a few times actually, not often, but I think like 3 or 4 times I've got messages that basically think that I'm doing this to make money. Now, money is a item that you do need to be able to sustain what you're using, like camera equipment and gear and that type of stuff, whatever. But you're not making a lot of money, right? Like that's not my motivation, anyways. It's more of a thing that I enjoy. Again, the community is what I do it for. I really like the community. I like helping people out, and I mean, if I know how to do something, I mean, if I make a video, I mean, a lot more people know how to do it, right? So. Okay. Another thing that I have here for the misunderstanding point. I work with a lot of companies, right? So you'll see Auchi, Gears Racing over here. I do work with a lot of companies, more than you actually know, because I don't release all of the videos. There are a lot of videos that I make that I don't like the product, and I always am fair. I feel it's a requirement. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be always honest, and I mean, I wish I could bring up an email. I actually am speaking with another company, which a couple products that I'm kind of interested in, but I want to see whether or not they work, right? So that's the way the program works, right? So I'm honest. I'm always going to be brutally honest to my videos, and if a person or the company doesn't like what I'm saying, I mean that's their problem, right? So, um, if I don't like the product, I let them know these are the concerns that I have, and if they want to fix them or say, hey, hold on with posting that video, we know about this, we're going to try and fix this, fine. But I'm just a random dude, right? They don't really care. And at the end of the day, if it's something that they're like, well, we disagree with your your point on that, okay, cool. Then I don't post the video. I'm being fair to them. They're sending me products for free, or for discounted rate kind of thing. And I mean, it doesn't help anybody for me crapping on things, right? Unless they're being, if they're being dishonest with their viewer kind of thing or the customer, then I will expose them. We had a company, where is it? Van True, I think, is the company that I worked with them before. They were very good to me, and they're even great now with me. They're very great to me. But they did come out with a air gun. I have it on the channel. It's more like an air blower kind of thing. They were asking me to put it in, like to do a video and stuff on it. And I'm like, what are you gonna use this for? And interesting that blowing out water out of all the cracks and stuff, right? That's kind of how I thought of the electronics and stuff like that. So we tried it, but they were claiming that it had more pressure than it actually did. So I tested it. I had other guys test it as well, just in case I had like a dud. And no, it wasn't. So I've emailed them, and they emailed me back, and they disagreed with my point. But I mean, they said that the way I'm measuring it is wrong, but the way the photo was the way I was measuring it. So I mean, it is what it is. But again, that's a thing that they said that they were okay with me keeping the video up, and it is what it is. So that's a company that, even though they disagree with the situation, they are willing to at least communicate with the customer, right? Which is fair, right? Let me grab some water. All right. Let's see who's on here. Oh, okay. Wow. Gus is here. Nate is here. There you go, guys. Thanks, dude. And of course, Francis. All right. So the reason why I'm going off on that is because they, some of the comments that I had, I mean, if I had feelings, it'd be a problem. But, I mean, I've been called a sellout. I've been called a shell, because they disagree with my take on something. And I mean, that's perfectly fine. That's your opinion. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I'm always going to be honest to it. So that's just the reality. That's okay, right? You can have a disagreement or a different opinion than me, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go through some of this. Yeah, I've already went through that. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so the next question that I got was, what's your goal? Hold on. What's a goal? Oh, what's a goal? Apparently reading owns me. What's a goal you're working on right now? Okay. I guess the goal that I'm reaching or trying to do right now is I'm building behind the scenes. I got a bunch of gear and stuff. I actually have a shirt that I have on right now, my hat, bunch of other stuff, whatever. So I have a bunch of gear or apparel, I guess. So I'm trying that stuff out. The problem is I don't, like, I've worked with four different companies now in 2 local places, and I have not been happy with most of them. I've even used Sticker Mule, Sticker Mule for some clothing. Now their stickers are fantastic, but their clothing was absolutely garbage. Like, I mean, I would say that they're better than most, but they're not good enough, right? If that makes sense. Um, oh, hey cutie, look at this guy. Hi Jeremiah. Okay, so yeah, so we ended up doing that. I started the Patreon that we're building on that. Trying to do content every week. So that's kind of interesting. A lot of work, but I mean it's fun. It's interesting. I get to communicate more with the viewer, right? Which is kind of what I'm like, what I'm liking, right? Um, some of these comments. And then, of course, right now I'm trying to hit 100,000K on my Rebel 500. Once that happens, then I can start looking at other bikes. But probably going to be one more year of the 500, and then I'll probably look at picking something out the following fall or winter, depending. I'll look at that point. We'll see where it's at. Yeah, so actually that's a good point to say. If you do have any 500 content ideas or things you want to know, you best send me an email quickly on that. That way I actually can do it this year, because if not, I mean, I'm probably not going to have access to a 500, right? So, all right. That is that. That's that. Okay. How do you, this is a good question. Actually, I talked to Mike about this a couple years ago. And a couple of the other guys that I've talked to, the YouTube guys that I've talked to on this. How do you deal with hate or negative comments? Great question. Again, if you know me personally, you know that I'm not easily riled. You can say all kinds of things to me, and I do not care. Not being disrespectful, but just at the end of the day, that's your opinion. I mean, it is what it is. I just ignore them, to be dead honest. Half the time, like, I'll do something, and then they're like, well, you missed this. Well, no, I did that. I didn't record that because that's pretty basic. But then I go, okay, well, would I show that to an apprentice? Because that's how my video style would be, is like me teaching an apprentice. And I'm like, would I miss that? Probably not. I probably let them know, right? So I said, okay, well, I'll try to change that and kind of help or put more into the videos as far as that goes, right? That way there's no, so that's a valid criticism, and that's okay, right? But yeah, I mean, you don't typically get a lot of hate. So like, I mean, I get it once every so often. I had one guy that hated the audio, the video, or I have like music in the background. The reason why I put music in the background is because it's a shop, it's echoey, and it would sound really bad. So I put like some sort of like kind of just chilled music in the back, just to kind of something be quiet. I found something that I like, and I mean, you don't have to like it. But he kept on messaging me. It's actually funny. He did it on, I think, 7 or 8 of my videos. He posted, I don't like the music, change your music. And I'm like, okay, cool, mute the friggin' mic. Like, you don't have to listen to it. I guess the thing he didn't realize is, again, I'm a little petty, but he had a channel himself, so I went onto his channel just to see, and of course he was listening to some crappy music, so I went, change your music, right? Now, I was just funny, right, joking around, but oh yeah, you got so emotional, and it's like, don't be so emotional. But blah 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 blah. Yeah, so I have a note on here, and it's actually a common thing in the shop. We're techs. We don't have the luxury of feelings. We just don't have them. It's fine. All right, what do we have on this as far as that goes? I don't know the time. I guess it's 35 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna kind of probably a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna do that live, and then I'm gonna answer some questions that you have, if you have anything. Miss seeing my face, eh? Miss seeing your face, princess. Okay, so Any big projects coming up for the channel? Ooh, how much do I let you know? Well, I do have a bunch of Rebel 1100 content that will be getting released over the winter. Um, there was a couple guys that or that I started working on their bikes, and one's a 2025 Rebel with like a bunch of stuff. I got like Healy bars that I put on it. There's a bunch of stuff. I have my buddy Rob. He is also having that oil leak, so that will be in the springtime. I'll end up doing a video on that. So that'll be the repair, the typical Rebel 1100 repair as far as the oil leak. And then he has a bunch of stuff that he wants to do. One of it is going to be the two-wheel dyno works, and I'm really excited for that. I'm actually happy that they have like tuning stuff now, so I'm probably gonna go with the 1100 to be dead honest as far as my personal bike, but gotta get to that 100K first. Okay, are you planning to add any new types of content? Now, I read that earlier, and I wasn't sure exactly what they're asking. So like I do a couple types of videos. The problem with YouTube is if you do many types of videos, it screws up the algorithm, right? So I tend to do, test rides, events, that type of stuff is kind of my outsource, but I do a lot of like do-it-yourself type things, right? Mechanical type videos and how-tos. That's pretty much the bread and butter kind of thing of the channel. But all right, I'm reading the comments. I gotta goes, we need a winter meetup. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do that in cages. Yeah. I'll either take the RDX or I'll bring the Del Slow. Okay, so this was okay. So I read this question again. I read a couple of these questions already. So this question, they're probably not going to like my answer. So, and I'm hoping that they're going to watch this video because I don't see the person here, so I'm not going to expose them. But would you ever collaborate with other creators, and who would your dream collab be? Now, I have in the past worked with other creators. Jeremiah is in the chat right now. I've worked with him. Great content creator. Nate's also a content creator. Gus. I've like been like hanging out and stuff like that with a bunch of them, right? Go down to the Life of Birch meets, that type of stuff, right? But is there a dream collab? Probably not. I don't get starstruck. I don't really care about that type of stuff. If I have the opportunity to work with people, sure. But yeah, I'm not typically that type of guy. No disrespect. It's just the reality. I stand and piss just like they do. So I'm just, it's not that thing. What is I saying? Yo, my man. Okay. All right. Okay, so this question actually is probably going to be my last one on this one. I'll keep the other ones for the rest. It's an interesting question. Would you ever do in-person meetups or events? Now, I have done, or I've participated in events like that, like the Life of Birch meet. I went down there a couple times. And then Jeremiah's meets, I've done that. The problem with where I am, there is no way that I can technically do a ride. Just because it's not a very, like, for me to go and do a ride, I'd have to either do it down in the States and find like an area that I could do that with, which is not really related to the channel, or I could do like a sightseeing one, which is kind of boring. because there's like a lot of riding in between the sightseeing. And I mean, Gus got to enjoy Toronto. How was that? But then the roads in Canada, especially in Ontario, are really boring. So the only way that I can enjoy or have some fun is driving like 2-3 hours out of the way. And I don't think anybody's going to want to cross the border and then do another 2-3 hours, right? So I'll look into that and see whether or not that's an option, but I would have to find something that's worth your while to be able to do, right? So coming past a border and stuff like that for just to hang out is kind of, I mean, I'm sure there's a couple people that would, and I'm sure that there's a bunch of people. I mean, I've spoken to a few that are already in Canada, but I mean, there's not a lot around here to be able to make it worth your while, if that makes sense. But okay, so I guess what we'll do is I have 6 people on this list, and we are going to. I guess, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I should have ended up setting this up so you can record the actual footage, but it's just my chicken scratch. So that is your 6 names, okay? And we are going to do a number generator. And where is it? And so I'll read them out, and then I'll click the number generator. I'll see whether or not you can see it. So number 1 is JP Floyd. Number 2 is KY Rider 1. Number 3 is Rob Jerry. Number 4 is Stephen Wurr. Number 5 is Francis Schrader. And then number 6 is Roll of Soul 317. So we're going to end up setting that up. And then let's see if you can see that. Nope, you're not going to see that. Erg. Well, we're going to set the generate. So, what's it say? Number 2, which is KY Rider 1. So he's the guy that got the C3. So I will contact you, KY, and we'll send that out to you. Okay? So that's going to be that. Anybody have any questions or concerns regarding this? Let's see if there's anything. Go through. This whole group is sexy. Of course it is. How goes it? Let's see in your face. Very late. Nate goes, never give up, Slate. One day it'll all be worth it. Every day I wake up is worth it, my guy. When is the next live? That's a fantastic question. Okay, so I don't have it written down. It's every second month. So let's see. I can actually bring it up. Sorry about that. And I promise they'll get better. I'm struggling with this. I don't typically like talking to myself. Sorry. Oh, sorry. One more, and then I can get that. Why is this not working? Posts. Yeah, you'll have to join me in the next one, dude. 100%. All right, so the next one is going to be February 7th. Okay, so it's every other month. And it's the first Saturday at 9 p.m. So that's kind of how we're doing it. And then the last one for the winter season would be the first Saturday, which would be April 4th, right? So those will be the 3 for the season. This was the first one. Then there's 2 more. So we'll go from there. All right. Any other questions? We're going to give it a couple seconds, and then we are going to close this up. go through. I think I've looked at everything so far. All right, guys, I think that's it. Thanks again. You guys rock, man. Thank you very much for the support.